New camp spot. Here's some before pictures, just so you can see what was here before. It's a good rocky, it's an old riverbed. It's a good rocky understory. It's a really good spot. If you're going to have a campfire, don't light a campfire. Like 20 feet that way, it's all forest duff. This is an old riverbed. So this is all rock and crap in here, so we should be good. There's a really good water source literally 2 seconds away from me here, so this is good. Lots of rock over there to build my fire ring. Yeah. And I think we're good. Excellent. Right, we get set up and get going. Right, the site is taking shape. Got a fire ring built. Cut off a few of those pieces, and gonna get me a fire sorted here and get settled in. Right, I'll do some more in a bit. Right, have some logs. Not sure how long I'll be able to keep this fire in this camera in this spot. Sorry, because the sun is coming around. Once the sun comes around, I'm going to be in trouble. So I might have to move spots there for the camera. Right, as always, I have some small stuff ready to go. I've got my ever trusty cotton ball fire that. These work really great. Just make sure you just fluff them up just a little touch, just to get the spark to land on there. Once it does, literally one spark is usually all it takes if you can get it to actually land on there. Oh, they're going. Yeah, let's go. That striker, I need to grind a new edge on that striker. It's not very sharp anymore. Now you'll notice I'm wearing an orange hat today. That's because it is prime hunting season. And a lot of people hunt up in this area, so good idea to stand out. So, I'm not building my usual big fire to start with, I'm just building a small fire because this is a new spot and the ground hasn't settled into fire yet. There is some small organic-y material in here, so best off lighting a small fire on that. Cleared around the fire base as much as I can. There's a few dead leaves here, but these are actually pretty wet and soaked. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to remove as much organic as you can. Like I say, the bottom of this fire, this is an old riverbed, so it's absolutely full of rock, which is a good thing. And I have a really good water source just right there, and I have my fire bucket. Just let that set a bit. Anybody who knows me will know this is a collapsible fire bucket. Everybody should have one of these. If you're going out and doing this stuff, get yourself a collapsible fire bucket. Makes a huge difference. Some of this stuff is dead, but it's still a little damp. So we will. I'm not building my usual big lazy fire, as I call it. I put 2 logs in the bottom as a base, just to give the fire something to burn on, and then just pre-warm some of these smaller bits in here. Now, because this is a new fire site, and it's not one I know very well, always be very conscious of what's around. See, like all this, you'll see all of the sites that I do, you'll see that I like to clear all this crap out of here. Like I say, this is all rock. It's all riverbed, so not too worried. But the more you can do for fire safety, the better. And I will say again, same as I do in every one of my videos, once you light a fire, it is your fire, you are responsible for it, you're responsible for whatever it does. So always keep an eye on it. Yeah. Right. Just going to head over here for a second. There's another couple of little bits of wood. I'll pick up some more little rocks. I spotted over there some nice square rock, so that tends to be easier to build with. Good idea to always have a rock ring to contain it. Keeps the fire in one spot, and you'll notice that I've made a small fire ring. And normally my fire rings are much bigger, so I can put decent sized logs in there if I have to stay overnight. But because this is the first fire that's been on this site, once you've had 2 or 3 fires on this site, it's fine. Yeah, I can make it a little bit bigger, but until then, it'll stay small. Right, let me get sorted. Pay attention to what I'm doing, and I'll get back to you in a moment. Now, I left a little early this morning, so there you go. Now, officially, breakfast o'clock. Oh, that's good. Let that die down a bit. So just put some more small bits on there. Well, today is the Thanksgiving weekend. I can tell you now, I'm very thankful to live in a place like this. It's good to be able to wander out in the middle of nowhere. You'd be surprised, having a campfire in a place like this, even today, just the impact of today's campfire, just clearing up some of this small stuff. You'd be surprised the difference it actually makes in an area. It's actually huge. Clears up a lot of this stuff. Makes it easier to walk through some of these places. There was a piece of a trail through here. It's so overgrown you can't even see the trail anymore. But good place to be. I don't like that tree. That looks like the kind of tree that could fall over without him for no reason, just because. Yeah. So if you see me suddenly run, you know it did. Yeah, don't particularly like the look of that tree. But it's a good place to be. So. This is the secret with when you're setting up a new site like this. Make sure you keep the fire small so that it can burn into the area. Yeah, any organic material that's in there, it will burn it off. And it becomes a site that you can use a little bit bigger or longer or whatever. But being this time of the year, this is probably the last time I'll be out this way this year, I should think. It's pretty difficult to get in here, I can tell you. This is about 4 kilometers
from anything like a trail or a road. It's pretty rough out this way, which is why I like to come here, because not too many people do. This is not somewhere you tend to bump into a lot of people. The only people I'm likely to see out here today might be people hunting, maybe. And even that'd be one in a blue moon, because I'm trying to hunt anything in this. It's like you can't see more than, I don't know, I can't see more than 50 feet through this forest. It's very overgrown. Yeah. Not too many people use it down in this way, which is good. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Right. People do sometimes ask me why I do it. Well, I can come out here. I know there's many places in the mountains that are way more stunning Instagram places. This time of the year, everybody's out there looking for larches and all that. It's what I call yellow season. And everybody's out there, literally thousands and thousands of people, just trying to find the perfect picture of the larch trees. Well, I come out here to get away from those people, so that's good. Yeah. Keep the fire small. I put 2 bigger logs in the bottom. They'll just burn into there. It'll take a very long time for those logs to burn in. The tree that I cut that off over there, there's about another 40 foot of that. It's that round, so I'm not going to be using that today. That just makes a good wood source for future trips. Right, I will stop rabbiting. I'm going to have something to drink because I just had something to eat, and I'll do some more in a bit. And this is why it's good to come to these places. Look at that. Bloody lovely, isn't it? There's an old dead tree here. But if I go under the tree and down to the bank, you can actually access a good sized creek here. So anytime you're going to have a fire, make sure you have a good source of water, which I do. This creek is really down this time of the year, but I can tell you now that is a good source of water. My campfire is about 30 feet away, so I'm not too worried about that. Isn't that nice? And this is why I come to places like this. Absolutely amazing. Right, although I'm only 30 feet away from the fire, and I can actually physically see it, I'd rather be stood right next to it, because it's a new fire site. Right, let me get back over there. So as you can see, I've kept the fire pretty small. I don't need a great abrasion fire. This is a new site. Burn the fire into the ground first. Make sure you're not going to cause any damage. As I said before, once you light a fire, it's your fire, you're responsible for it. So always be aware that even though, I mean, I could physically see the fire from where I was like 30 feet sideways here. But it's always a good idea. Make sure you don't wander too far. And always, before you leave, make sure your fire is soaked, stirred. So I've got a really good water source just off to my side. I have my collapsible fire bucket with me. Everybody should get one of those things because they fold up to nothing. I think it was like 15-20 bucks, not even. And it holds 20 litres. Realistically, you can put about 15 in it. But 15 litres of water on a fire, trust me, once you put 2 or 3 of those buckets on there, there ain't nothing left of that. So yeah, always make sure it's out. Soak it, stir it, soak it. We do not need additional forest fires. But, this time of the season, it's pretty dry, so you've got to still be very, very cautious. You look at it, you think, yeah, it's damp, and it is damp. I mean, the leaves are damp, the branches are damp, everything's bloody damp. But it's it will still burn. You get some heat on it, it'll still go. So always very, very cautious. Whenever I set up a new site like this, I'm always very cautious. Right, let me put this back over here, and I'm going to sit and enjoy this. Right, a little while has gone by. It's not really o'clock. Time to have an orange. Anybody that knows me will know that I absolutely love oranges. Haven't had any for a while. Because I've got a really good hot fire going, I will burn up the peels. Normally I take them home with me, but this is a really hot fire. Don't chuck them in the bush. A lot of people think they're organic, they'll just burn, just dissolve away and biodegrade and all the rest of it. They don't belong out here. So these will burn pretty fast in this fire. Looks good. I sharpened this up the other day. I gave this a really good sharpen, so it actually has a really good edge on it now, so that's good. Always make sure you put the tools away when you finish with them. Oh, that is good. Oranges are really good. I like the grapefruits every now and again. I buy whatever's on sale. My fire is dying down a bit, huh? This is my cosy bench. An unhappy squirrel over there. Now, I have noticed clouds starting to build a bit. That's west. I really don't want to get stuck out here in the rain. So what I'll do is I'm going to close this fire up. What I do is just keep pushing all the ends in, burn it all off until there's nothing but ash left. And I'm not going to put any more wood on the fire. Shouldn't need that now. I was saying, I'm going to start to close this fire down a bit. So, turn everything around long ways, make it burn quicker. Like that. Good. There. these two big logs that I got, I say big log, only about that round. I put 2 of those in the bottom, and I basically built the fire. What you do is you put them side by side like that to start with, and as you build the fire, you can separate them out a little bit, make the fire a little bit wider, and drop the fire down between it. And that's exactly what I did here. So I want to make sure that those 2 big pieces are burnt through as much as possible. Let's push all these little ends back in. There's always little bits at ends that burn out. And you'll notice when I do a fire like this, I don't have the fire going all the way up to the rocks. The fire is not up against the rocks. The fire is within the rocks, so there's always a gap around it. Best way to be. Right, we let that burn through. I'll do some more in a minute. And that is how you leave a campfire. I've put 3 buckets of water on here from my what's name collapsible bucket, plus half of my drinking water on there, so there's probably been about 30 litres of water in there. The rocks are still a little bit warm, still a little bit of heat there, but the fire's been down and out now for probably 20 minutes, half an hour. Absolutely soaked down. I've walked through it, and that is exactly how you leave a campfire. Absolutely soaked. Literally I've got 3 buckets of water on there. Right, so I'm heading out because the clouds are starting to build, and I do not want to be down in here if we get any rain, because that would not be a good place to get out of. Right, I'm going to head on home, which is that way. Thanks for coming along.